Howdy.
What's up?
Hi,
How we
friends.
doing?
Hi, family. Guess what this is?
Hello?
It's a podcast.
Just what you wanted, two bearded white dudes talking about stuff.
Exactly. We're going to give you something new here. It's two average white dudes talking video games.
Ugh, it's what the world needed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome,
hmm
world. You're welcome. Um,
Throw us on the pile.
welcome in anybody who happens to be watching, listening. This is the first episode, the inaugural episode, the debut episode of the Storymoders Podcast. And not story mode as like
Yes.
a car, like story mode as
No.
in I play games on easy mode because I'm a child. And it's easier, and I feel like a stronger person.
There
So
you
here we go.
go. Yeah,
My
I
name
mean,
is
there's no
Robert.
shame in that.
Yeah, my name is Robert. Twitch link is right down below. And my co host.
Hi, I'm Michael. There should be a Twitch link down here
There's not.
to,
There's
no,
not.
there's not?
It's
Okay.
just
God
mine
damn it.
on both sides. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Fuck you. It's not like I don't know where you live or anything, and I'm not a small petty man.
We're going to find
Yep, we are. As soon as the cameras go down.
Twitch links down below. I'm Mr. Hawks182.
Mhm.
That is Nerdic for Beginners. We also have a Twitter link on the bottom, Storymoders Pod. So, give us any updates, anything like that. We really appreciate it with this being the first episode. We want to kind of do something a little bit different here. There's a lot of podcasts that you can go to just hear, about video game news and reviews and everything. So that's not kind of what we're doing. The idea here is that Michael and I just need some sort of creative outlet. So each episode, we're going to have maybe some sort of, I don't know if you want to call it a challenge or just a theme. And we will kind of take turns riffing on this idea. You'll see what we're talking about here in just a moment. But just kind of a way for us to have something creative kind of going on in our minds while we're just, like playing these video games that we love. Everybody loves video games. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just think of kind of weird things and you're like, I wonder what that would be like. And we just decided to flesh them out a little bit, discuss them amongst ourselves, share it with you, the world, or the general Salt Lake City area, or anybody that might be watching. And
our close-knit crew of friends.
To our close-knit crew of 4 friends. So,
yep. Hey.
Hi, you.
Hi, everybody I regularly stream with.
Yeah. Nerding for Beginners. Twitch.tv/nerding for beginners.
There it is.
But yeah, we're just going to kind of go on this little journey together. If you guys have any ideas, or if the theme hits you and you're like, oh, this is what I would go with, throw it in the comments. We're going to go up on YouTube. We're going to try to get on all the podcast sites like Spotify and Apple and whatever the shit else people use for podcasts. I use Overcast.
It's really, there you go. I mean, it's really just those two. If you can get on one, you can get on everything else.
Yeah, either it's Spotify, Apple, or just fucking YouTube. Those are.
That's really just where you're going.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the swearing to a minimum for the kids, but
for the children.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen.
So we're sorry,
Michael. Do you want to give them a little history of your gaming life?
Yeah. So, my gaming life began very early on. When I was about 5 or 6, my dad brought home an NES, brand new inbox. Plug that thing into the old, I think it was 17-inch CRT. Oh boy, life was never the same.
Those were the days.
Played that. Went over to every wealthier kid's house to play their Super Nintendos. We had a Genesis for a minute, but then I don't know what happened to it. That's one of the great mysteries.
Did you pawn it?
No. I just think I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe somebody pawned it, got rid of it at the ripe old age of 9. Just traded that thing at the pawn shop.
It was before they had regulations on how old you had to be. So
exactly.
Yeah.
This is the first Bush presidency. We're still coasting on deregulation, baby. Come on.
It's Reaganomics.
The children yearn for the mines. That's why they like Minecraft. It makes sense. Yeah, no, I've played pretty much every major console except haven't actually done anything with a PS5. I have seen them. I have not actually even held the controller. So,
You haven't held the console in your arms like a giant baby router?
no, I haven't picked up the like small man-sized console
Yeah,
that I
it's
can't really
very
put
large.
anywhere. Yeah, like
Very
I'm looking at
large.
my big gaming PC and I'm like, a PS5 will dwarf this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah,
um,
Mike plays on PC. I am not
mhm.
actually a PC gamer besides the Steam
So
Deck. That's my gaming PC.
there's that. Yeah, and to be
So,
fair, I was never really a PC guy until I realized it would be cheaper to build a PC instead of modifying all these random like workstation PCs. My buddy who works in IT for a gym would just keep bringing me and just dropping them off.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I've
that
heard so
and
many stories of
also
people that work in IT. They're like, yeah, just brought like their computers home and like laptops and everything. And I've worked in IT for 10 years. That has never been the fucking case. They've never just been
so
like, hey, we need to get rid of these. Do you want to take them? It's always like, we need to get rid of these. We're going to send them to a place to get melted down into horse glue.
yeah, no,
They
he
can't make it
is.
out of horses anymore.
I think he has a leg up on you and your IT career because he has had to crisscross this state several times doing like on-site things and fixing other people's mistakes. And so inevitably, whatever gym he's in, they're just like, "Oh, they told us we need to get rid of these." He's like, "I'll take them.
I'm like,
Don't you worry
oh,
about that."
okay, that's fine. I know where they go.
And
I know where they go.
and into the back of his wagon they go, and then they wound up in my basement. So that is that. So yeah, I built a very nice PC for gaming, but also photo and video editing. So that's
Yep.
some other
Yeah,
stuff that I do.
Mike is an incredible photographer. A lot of fucking car stuff that I looks great. I don't understand how it looks great or why. I look at it and I'm like, that's good. It's a nice, it's a crisp car.
That is, you will never be like more humbled when my girlfriend she went to college to study the arts. So she has a degree in the arts. And whenever we go to a museum, I'm like, that looks cool. And she's just like, and here's why it's cool. And I'm like, okay,
And thank
I'm
you,
dumb. I'm just
thank
like, I
thank you.
understand things at a very surface level. You.
You
But
got
speaking
it.
of you, but speaking of you, Robert, what about you? What's your gaming history like?
Honestly, pretty similar. I started gaming on the NES. I don't remember when it was brought home. I just remember at one point when I could see things and do things and remember things. We had an NES in the home. I
Yeah.
played WCW wrestling and Mario and Duck Hunt, and then
Mm-hmm.
from then I think we actually went from that to a Genesis, and that's what's one of my first deep gaming memories is waking up on Christmas to the Genesis
Yeah.
in the living room. You know, my brother and I were super stoked. My parents they're like, "Hey, Santa brought it." We're like, "Sure, he did. He
Right.
did. It was Santa." But since then, yeah, NES, Genesis. We had the PlayStation, PlayStation 2. I was never really an Xbox guy until the 360, which I mean only was a second generation, but I never had the original Xbox. That was kind of the that and most of Nintendo before the Wii. After the NES and before the Wii, I was not a part of. Didn't have an
Yeah.
SNES, didn't we had a 64 like 4 or 5 years after they came out, right before the GameCube was going to come out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, GameCube era completely missed me. Most of the Xbox
Mm-hmm.
era completely missed me. I was just a PS2 kid.
Yeah. Same. I mean, like with the Xbox and the GameCube, like you knew somebody with
Yeah,
one of those, so you would just go over to their house and then you would play the game, like the only games that really mattered, like
yep,
Smash Brothers and Halo. You know, like
yeah. We had a
those.
PS2, and then I remember the greatest gaming console that I had that I
Yeah.
got after it had already been discontinued, and it was being sold for like $100 for that and 6 games. The Sega
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Oh, buddy,
Yeah,
I pre-ordered one and picked it up on 9/9/99.
God, that marketing, Jesus.
Uh picked it up at the Software Etc. in Cottonwood Mall. Rest in peace. Oh yeah.
Software Etc. Software Etc. was I think an indie kind of store, and they were just bought
Yeah.
out by GameStop. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
There was like a brief couple of months where it was an electronics boutique before they're just like, no, everything's GameStop now.
yeah, everything's GameStop. You're shopping at a
Yep.
GameStop now.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I've been a gamer like my entire life, so I played just about everything. I'm a big single player gamer. I have friends, but I hate playing online with them because I'm terrible. That's why this is called Storymoders,
You
because I'm
go.
not good and I bring everybody down when I play video games with them. So I tend to play single player RPGs a lot. Um, I think the kind of there's a little video or a little slideshow behind us of just a bunch of games that Mike and I both love. You might recognize
Mm-hmm.
some of them. Some of them might be a bit too dark to see, but whatever. You know, there's
They're
a lot of
there.
stuff back there. So
Use your
those are just kind of
imagination.
the games you can see them and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, these guys like Spider-Man 2. Fuck yeah, I like
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 2. Mike doesn't because he
Oh yeah.
hasn't played it because he hasn't played a PS5
No,
and
but
it
I
hasn't come
can
to
say
PC
it
yet.
like fucking looks amazing.
It
All
does.
right.
Yeah, and it's
Watched a
incredible to play.
watch people stream it. It looks awesome. Really makes me want to okay, I don't really want to get a PS5 because I don't have any more real estate here.
Yeah,
So, but hey,
I once
maybe.
they release the new game plus for that, I'm gonna stream it again because I played
There
it,
you go.
got it when it first came out, got that platinum already. I'm just waiting for new game plus to dive back into it, so that'll be happening on my
Oh
stream
yeah.
for sure. But
There
yeah,
you go.
enough about us. You know, with this being kind of,
Yeah.
just wanted to give us a rundown of who we are. We're average white dudes. We play
Yep.
video games our whole life, so
Yep.
you get it now.
Yeah.
Um,
But now's the
yeah,
time we hear from you. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from? We're not a calling show, are we?
I may have forgotten to set up the phone line.
Shit.
Yeah,
Well, don't
yeah,
worry. To Google Voice.
we'll figure that out by 2025. So
We'll get the
yeah, we'll get there.
we'll get
Get
the
there.
Storymoders voicemail box going.
Yeah, 1-800
Leave us a razy
story mode.
voicemail.
Actually, that's 9. How many digits is in a phone number? 7. I don't know. We all have cell
Yep.
phones, and it's just saved in there now.
Yep. Numbers mean
But
nothing.
but like we said, each episode we kind of have kind of a theme challenge for each other. What we're gonna bring in, and for this first episode, kind of inspired by Microsoft finally acquiring Activision Blizzard, a couple months ago that finally finished, and they're getting all these new studios and all this new IP. Um, Today, what we're going to do here is I've challenged Mike to take existing IP that either Microsoft or Nintendo or Sony own, and the studios that they own, give a different IP to a different studio, tell me what they're going to make. So
Yeah.
a very, kind of a very simple idea. On the PlayStation, you've got Insomniac. Give them Jack and Daxter. What are they going to do with it?
Hmm?
It's a very simple one. We each have a few different pitches, if you will. We're going to kind of alternate between them, and then yeah, if you have any ideas, if you think one of them sounds cool, yeah, let us know. If you think it sounds like shit, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
All right,
Or
enough
make a burner
negativity out
account.
there.
I
Right?
don't
Yeah, make a
care.
burner account and tell me it sucks.
Yeah.
But Mike, do you wanna start out? Or do you want me to start out here?
You know what? I'm going to start out because I'm a
Okay,
big fan of, throwing something easy out there,
okay.
establishing that the bar is going to be kept very low, at least on my end. Hey, James Cameron, find the bar. um, so one that I've got is so Naughty Dog. They have had a bit of a renaissance, like they
Yeah,
have made some amazing games, and lately it's just been The Last of Us remasters,
The
you
Last of
know.
Us, The Last of Us remastered, The Last of Us, the Left Behind, The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us 2 remaster, The Last of Us 1 remake,
Yep,
firing
it's been
on
a
two
lot of
cylinders.
hey, but they also gave us the Uncharted series, which were pretty fucking great.
Yeah,
And so, what I would like to see is the storytelling prowess that they've established with the Uncharted series and with The Last of Us, I would like them to take a property that was known for some really good storytelling in its first couple of iterations. I want to see what Naughty Dog would do with a Fallout game.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough
but
because Sony doesn't have the Fallout license.
Nope. Nope. But listen, this is all hypothetical. This is all thought experiment.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're at here.
Yeah.
But hey, man, no, I think it would be, just like see what could possibly happen there. You know,
I mean, the Fallout games, especially the last, the last main iterations, 3, 4, 76.
Yep.
Obviously, those are Bethesda games, and they're Bethesda Game Studios games. I love them. Fallout's one of my all-time favorite series.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy New Vegas. I feel is
New Vegas.
New Vegas, amazing, but it's not 3 and 4 and 76. That was after Black Isle was out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So those are Bethesda own things. That is what Bethesda would do with the Fallout property. And they're good.
What would you kind of in your mind imagine a Naughty Dog Fallout game?
One that has an ending. That's kind of key.
Okay, harsh. Fair.
Listen, I'm not saying something that hasn't been said for the last 10 years. This is not new territory. But no, so I love that Fallout is just kind of this open sandbox. You can follow the main storyline and you can find some really cool things in there, some very cool vignettes, some really interesting things. But it also feels really unfocused, and some of those cool things, you have to almost stumble upon them to find them. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out in the world that you just kind of see and you're like, oh, that's cool. What's that thread? And then you actually don't. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So
or somebody who's played through, some of these games several times, I'll throw on a video just 2 hours of random Fallout 3 facts, and it's just hey, there's this cool thing. And I'm like, what the how? Where was this? And it's just it's something it's something I've totally missed, So no, it would be nice to just see because again, Fallout's this big expansive thing and there's so many cool stories in there. It would be nice to see it given more of a direction, a narrative through line that you're not just wandering away from and occasionally running back into. And then you look at your you look at your phone and be like, oh, I've been on these side quests for the last 2 weeks. Maybe I should get back to the main storyline.
It's almost more of a kind of a linear story with maybe some side stories that are there, but you are a character and you're going through kind of this world.
Yeah. Something where, exactly. It's just because there's you can pick any number of great stories. I mean, and just be this is the main through line here. You are going to follow this, occasionally stray from it, but not too far.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I haven't played either of the Last of Us games.
Yeah.
I say that I've never had the ability. I had a PS4, I have a PS5 now, and it's just it's been that game where I've started the first one a couple of times, and then something else came out, and I was like, yeah, I want to jump into this more. And I apologize. Apparently, our background just keeps going to a Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart back screen. So yeah, it's fine. Deal with it. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I love the Fallout universe. I think that would be so cool just to have more of just like you said, just a focused. Hey, you're this character, this person, whether you're a vault dweller or you're somebody out there or you're a super mutant something, and you've got this story and this purpose. And there's other stuff that pops up along the way, but this is, you're just kind of going through there. God, Naughty Dog doing a Fallout game would be just incredible.
Right.
But honestly, them doing pretty much anything would be.
It really would be something that's not just retreading The Last of Us. Please, God. But And
I
I
mean, would their
also
Fallout game just be The Last of Us? No, no,
no. I
maybe
mean,
no.
Last of Us with more pipe gun shooting just screws at people, you know.
Has anyone
But
made
and I
a
also
mod for The Last of Us that turns the clickers into super mutants? Someone should.
seriously,
Yeah, do
stop
that.
modding Fallout, start modding The Last of Us, and let me see that. Put Thomas the
Send
Tank Engine in The Last of Us.
will not rest until Thomas the Tank Engine is in every game. I mean, I won't do it
Oh
because I don't have the ability to. But
no.
so yeah,
Yeah,
Naughty
no,
Dog
that is
presents Fallout.
yes.
Okay, okay.
That's yeah.
That is Mike's number one pick, or number one
Mm-hmm.
pitch, I guess.
Yep.
Um,
One off the board.
yep.
Yeah.
I've got one here, and I wrote kind of a little elevator pitch, if you will.
Okay.
And if I get any of these details wrong, remember that I'm not a PC gamer. So I did a little bit of research today as I was writing it out.
Okay.
Okay. But for my first pitch, the
Mm-hmm.
developer, Bethesda Game Studios.
Okay.
Okay. So the next massive Western RPG from the makers of The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield, is set in a universe with decades of its own history.
Okay.
Bethesda Game Studios presents Warcraft, The Crown of Azeroth. It's a subtitle that I made up. I don't even know if that fucking makes sense. I
It
saw that they have kings.
it makes sense. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sure Jeff will tell us.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
been badgering me to play what World of Warcraft with him.
yeah. Faded Sky
Yeah.
Jeff on Twitch fucking loves
Yep.
World of Warcraft. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Warcraft:
Anyway.
The Crown of Azeroth, made honestly in the kind of in the vein of of Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and everything. It's the
Yeah.
Bethesda game set in the
Mm-hmm.
Warcraft universe using those rules. I think what I like about this kind of this thought experiment is that it's not just giving this IP to this company and do whatever you want. It's like, no, you've got this established lore, this established universe. This
Yeah.
is the sandbox that you play with, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Like
like
you can't just throw everything out and start new. Just be like,
exactly,
this is a Warcraft game.
yeah.
Like, no, it isn't. No,
So I wrote,
that's
will you make your name known, become the king of Strongwind, which is apparently an alliance thing with the alliance, yeah, or will you rise up to become the war chief of the Horde? I also read that was their leader.
yep. Yep. There
Dominate your
you're
enemies.
spot
And
on there, buddy.
two completely unique branching storylines depending on which faction you choose. So almost like it's not going to be two fully different games, or go fucking crazy with it. Pokemon Red and Blue, this bitch.
There we go.
Warcraft, Crown of Azeroth, Alliance, and Horde, but two kind of completely separate storylines that will intertwine, obviously, because that's kind of whatever you're doing is going with the other. Um,
Yeah.
Two fully unique branching storylines. Your choices will guide Azeroth for generations to come.
Mm, I
So first
like
person,
that.
third person, whatever you want to do. I think there's magic in fucking Warcraft game. I was a StarCraft kid when I grew up, and I was like, maybe they should do a StarCraft game. That's Starfield. Kind of is
Yeah.
different,
That's
but they just did a Star game.
but it's yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, there's definitely like some magic in there, but there's a lot more stuff you could flesh out
Mm,
with it being focused on just one character as opposed to you having to like control, this large force.
yeah,
So I think that's really cool.
yeah.
No,
Like a
like it's
Warcraft game, obviously you create your own character. Like it's Bethesda once again, but
yeah.
that kind of mindset of you're this one character and you're kind of lowly grunt and you're working your way
Mhm.
up to becoming the head of whatever faction that you're
Faction.
in,
Yeah.
and then getting them ready for this massive war with the other side, I guess,
Yeah.
for the control of Azeroth. And it can be, obviously it doesn't have to be completely canon with all the other Warcraft games, because World of Warcraft is never going to die and they're going to keep doing
Nope.
things. But
Hmm.
it's that universe, and this is kind of a different story in there.
Yeah.
At some point Marty went back there and he stopped his dad from peeping on his mom, and now we're in 1985.
Yep.
But
And here we
Dave is
are.
you know a billionaire. So
Yeah. Because Marty
yeah,
left the
I just
almanac.
like that idea, like I said, of a studio taking this IP and having to play in those rules.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with this when you can't do this?
Yeah. And something like, at least with the like classic Warcraft games, like those were fairly linear. Like you
Hmm.
had, you're like you could choose what to do in the level, but like it had a definite start and end. Like it had
Yeah.
a main through line. And with doing it something like that, like kind of a classic Bethesda first person RPG thing in that giant sandbox, oh man, just going out there and just getting to like level 60 war chief before taking on like the third story
Anything.
mission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be hilarious.
Just go
You
grind
know.
out. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much what I did. Now when
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
in New Game Plus 10 Starfield, and I just start off and I'm just like shooting people with crazy guns that only I can have because I'm that high level.
Yeah. No,
But
I think that would be like that weird kind of like game breaking thing that you can do in any Bethesda RPG. Or yeah, like you can just go off. I'm like, again, there's got to be like so much. I'm not super familiar with
mhm.
the Warcraft lore. You know, I watched that episode of South Park. We all did. Um, but yeah, like there's got to be like some cool stuff that they can just like flesh out. That I know some writers are just like, I wish I could tell more of this story,
Yeah.
but it's very hard to do in either
True.
this MMORPG or this kind of classic RPG. Like it's very
Yeah,
hard to make
this
this,
RTS game, yeah.
yeah, this
If I
RTS,
remember,
yeah.
that's what. Yeah, when I grew up, I played
Yes.
Starfield and I played Might and Magic, which was more of like a single player kind of thing.
Oh,
But
oh yeah, man.
yeah,
Oh, Heroes. That was me and like four buddies just playing Heroes.
yeah.
One of us being in the office, and then the three of us being out in the living room playing some other game. It's great.
Oh,
Oh man.
awesome, awesome.
Good
So,
days.
Mike, number two.
All right. So this is another because I feel like I might have misunderstood the assignment to a point, but I feel like I'm
That's
doing all
fair.
right with it.
Episode one.
That's
We got some kinks.
You know what? It's all right. We both saw the same sentence. We read it very differently.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
wrote it.
There you go. There's a reason I'm not understanding things because I didn't write it.
Yeah,
And even if I did write it, I'd still do it wrong.
yeah.
But
No.
alrighty. So, speaking of a popular Activision Blizzard franchise, one that goes back many a decade, one that shaped me as a gamer, I'm talking about Diablo. I remember playing OG Diablo
Yeah.
and then Hellfire and then driving to Kmart in a torrent to get Diablo 2 when it released. So, this classic, like hack and slash dungeon crawling loot thing. There's a story. There's not much of a story, but it's
Mhm.
there. It's really just bad thing gets worse, must kill bad thing, must kill more of bad things. That's really the long and short of the story, you
Yeah.
know? But what I would like to do is I would like to see that get something like, oh, I don't know, see what Guerrilla Games would do with it. The people who made the Horizon series.
Yeah. Horizon and was it Resistance? Did they do Resistance? Killzone.
Yeah, Killzone.
Yeah.
Like
Horizon and Killzone.
these,
Yeah.
yeah, like these beautiful looking games,
Gorgeous.
just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And just like with especially with Horizon, just like these great stories, you know. I would like to see what would happen if you gave just like a main through line to Diablo that isn't just bad thing happening, must go kill bad thing
Hmm.
and collect better loot every
Like with
5 minutes.
like are you imagining kind of the third person,
Yeah,
Horizon kind of fully 3D world? Because I've played a bit of Diablo 4.
yeah.
And yeah, it's the isometric view you're kind of running through. It's a
Hmm.
dungeon crawler.
Yeah, like I mean, like
Yeah.
Diablo really hasn't changed that much since the first Diablo.
Yeah.
Like
Game
in all
franchise,
reality.
obviously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like it's gotten improvements here and there, but dumb things like the auction house in Diablo 3, that was a terrible thing. Glad I got into that one
Take your word for it.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite literally buy in-game items with real money, but you have to convert it to in-game gold. So that's how they're getting around. It was so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Everybody hated it. But yeah, no, just something where it's just like, yeah, it turns into a third-person action RPG instead of this isometric dungeon
Mhm.
crawler.
Mhm.
You know,
Do you think
I
it's single
think
player or you think it's multiplayer?
so. I have played through all of them, well, except for Diablo 4. I've played through all of the Diablo games solo, and they have been fun, but it's been way better when I've had people, like
Mhm.
my brother and our friends in the Diablo 2 and even like the Hellfire days, like the first Diablo expansion. Like those were great, dragging PCs to somebody's basement and having an old school LAN party.
Yeah.
And then even more recently, with like Diablo 2 Resurrected, getting some of my friends, like my car friends who are also huge fucking gaming nerds, just all of us playing Diablo 2 Resurrected in the old shitty resolution where it's all pixelated and everything. Oh yeah.
That's
Like
how most of my
it
games
was,
look now with my TV. So
man. Well, that sounds like it's a real weird problem to have, but
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. But no, I think it would be cool to incorporate like a multiplayer thing, like co-op story mode, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like there's no real like I know tons of people are huge into like PvP Diablo. I've always been just like, okay, like there's 6 builds for each of the characters. Like there's nothing really like crazy out there. Like there's
Yeah.
not some dude like in Armored Core 6, there was some guy who just like defeated the meta by basically just putting shotguns on his armored core and just like waiting for people to get like stupid close and he's just like blam, like one hitting people. So yeah, like PvP for Diablo never really appealed to me. So I mean, you could do some PvP thing, like that's fine, whatever. But in my head, I'm imagining just like 4-player co-op campaign, you know.
Hmm.
So I think that would be real fun. You all get to experience this story or do dumb game breaking shit,
And
casting so many spells, the frame rate crashes.
what I would request
Yep.
is if you've got a multiplayer campaign, drop
Mhm.
in, drop out.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody gets to save the it's not the host is the only one that gets to save their progress. No. Everyone's
No.
equal. Hey, if
Hmm.
you missed a level, cool, you can go back. But
Yeah,
yeah, if you
but
jump
like you're
in, your character gets the progress, you get the XP, you get the achievements.
mhm,
Yeah.
need those achievements.
God, I'm an achievement whore. That's what I am.
One of the many kinds of horror you are.
Yep. I'm
Hmm.
getting that quote unquote platinum in Persona 5 Royal again for the third time now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 3 different consoles. What up?
How you doing, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
But
up?
yeah, Diablo 4, I mean honestly my biggest issue with Diablo 4 was the gameplay. The
Yeah,
isometric
like
view and the gameplay. And it's that thing where it's just not for me, you know.
yeah, and it's one of those like I've seen plenty of people stream it. Like I've watched our buddy Ty stream it, Deathbox
Deathbox
Ty.
Tie on Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like I'm like hyped that he is enjoying it.
Hmm.
But I look at it and I'm just like, why don't I just go fire up Diablo 3? You know? Like,
I look at it and I'm like, I love you, Ty. I don't want to play this.
yeah.
I
So
want to see my character. And I want to go to high school with a talking cat named Morgana. Fuck, I'm addicted to Persona 5. Shit.
well, the first
Anyway,
step's admitting it.
yeah, I'll call someone about that later. It's fine. It's
There
fine.
you go.
So yeah,
Ah,
Diablo
beautiful.
4 by
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla Games, the makers of
Yeah.
Horizon, another one of my favorite series. Which I've got a few.
I,
I'll say that a few times,
yeah.
but like, yeah, Horizon
Oh,
was I never played it when it was on PS4. And then when Forbidden West was like, it was coming out at the beginning of the year at the worst goddamn time, right next to Breath of the Wild. Um,
Mhm.
but like in the fall of the year before, I was like, oh, let me try out this. Let me try out the first one because it always looked cool. I just never jumped into it, and I
Yeah.
immediately got hooked into it. Went through that entire story is like super fast, and then I was like, oh shit, I gotta wait a few months for the next one, and then that came out, dropped, and I jumped right into that. Like that Horizon series, I absolutely love that series.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
so good.
yeah,
So, like,
and that might be one that I bring up next time. It's not
oh,
coming out
yeah.
for mine because my
Mm,
number two, that IP, is one that we've
mhm.
already spoken about today.
Oh,
Fallout.
hey, look at that.
Yeah. And once again, we've kind of talked about the history of Fallout, with Black Isle Studios. Once again,
Yeah.
like an isometric RPG, kind of hardcore RPG,
Mhm.
and then Bethesda took it and it became the what it is today.
Yeah.
But there's a humor and kind of a almost like a nihilism of Fallout that there's one studio that I think would have a ball with it,
Yeah.
and it's from the mind of Tim Schafer, and it's Double Fine Studios, the makers of
Oh,
Psychonauts, Brutal Legend.
oh my god.
And I
That
mean, what I'm
would be
thinking of, obviously, they're not going to make this massive RPG and this massive, like world changing thing. Hell, you're a
oh.
young farmer out in the
Mm.
wasteland in the
Mhm.
relatively, so using a lot of, strength here, relatively untouched lands of Des Moines, Iowa,
Hey.
well away from where everything else is. You're just a young farmer trying to live, and all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe either super mutants start showing up, these radiated creatures that you really haven't seen, but something is forcing them over into where you are, and you've got to pick up weapons, you've got to save your town, you've got to kind of get rid of this threat, see where everything's coming from, and yeah, just that kind of that overall humor and that just
Yeah.
the way that Double Fine games are, which there's no other
Yeah.
way to explain it except for go look at almost any Double Fine game, and they've got that kind of that sense of humor, and
Yeah.
that's one of the great things about the Fallout universe is yeah, it's the end of the world. It doesn't have to be super sad. Have
No.
fun with it, and
Yeah.
and let's see, hell, doing a Double Fine like platformer or something in the
Oh,
Fallout universe
that would be
is
so amazing. Like, come oh god. Like, that sounds amazing, and I really want to go play Psychonauts 2 right now.
yeah.
Like, I
Psychonauts
want to
2 is
stop this
pretty fun game.
and go do that. Oh,
Well,
man.
we've got only a few more things to go through, and then yeah, go ahead and play Psychonauts 2. But yeah, a Double Fine Fallout
Sweet.
game.
Oh, dude. No, that would be like that is just flipping it completely, like, from what it always has been to
Yeah,
this totally new thing,
and
and, like,
the
and
art
just a
style of
totally new
Psychonauts.
yeah, just a totally new feel. Like, it is yeah, man, like, you're almost creating something entirely new, but it is still grounded in that Fallout
Yeah,
reality, and that just sounds so fucking awesome.
yeah,
Like,
hundred some odd years after the Great War. You know,
yep, or whatever the
your
hell it is.
your people weren't in the vault. Obviously, you know what happened because all communication shut off. But where the
Mhm.
bombs fell in Fallout, from what I can tell, nothing dropped directly onto Iowa. But there's still going to
Yeah.
be that nuclear fallout, as the
Yeah,
name
exactly.
suggests. So you've still adapted to a world with
Yeah.
with mutations, with ghouls, with Brahmin and everything, but your place was almost quote unquote spared from the actual bombs falling. So some day to day life just kept kind of going. Just the survival in a place that's not completely overrun with a massive population
Yeah.
of super mutants and
Like,
everything, and
yeah,
almost that
like,
you kind of get that day to day life, and then fucking Fallout happens. You get
yep,
everything coming into this world, and it's your character just kind of figuring out like what this shit is happening here while you're just running around
yeah,
platforming, doing everything that a Double Fine game does.
man, that's just God, yeah, just like a oh, that would be so good. So, so good. Yeah,
Like
man.
I would buy it. I wouldn't have
I'd
to
buy it
because it'd be on
too.
Xbox Game Pass, the best deal in gaming. But
Mhm. Yeah. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a bit of a quick one, but Mike, do you have a third one here?
I've got two more. So,
Okay.
but kind of keeping on that like fun kind of platformy thing. So, Jack and Daxter, beloved series.
Hmm.
I would like to see that in the hands of Rare, and specifically, I would like to see Rare give Jack and Daxter like the Battletoads treatment.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Like a
that would be
side-scrolling beat 'em up.
yup. Like that would
Okay.
be so much fun because yeah, like me and some of the nerding crew, we played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Like that was fun. We played that for a little bit one night just off stream. And
Hmm.
now I'm just like, I miss these like side scrolling beat 'em ups, you know? Like
Yeah.
they were so much fun. And I would love to see just the Jack and Daxter universe just being slapped into like a 2D side scrolling beat 'em up platformer. Like
Yeah.
that would be, I think that would be so much fun.
And like I haven't played a Jack and Daxter game since, like probably the first or second one back,
Yeah,
back
way
on the
back.
PS2 era. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I remember, just having kind of enemies all around that you're
Hmm.
attacking. So I mean, you can easily put that into a 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
There's obviously bosses that you're going to fight at the end of, levels and kind of a big bad and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
that
Like,
definitely seems like a world that could fit into
it,
a 2D
yeah.
side scroller.
Yeah. It's one of those, it would translate so easily. And I feel like Rare would do a really good job
Oh yeah,
with
Rare would kill
everything.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Like it's Rare.
great
Come on.
studio for, especially for, that kind of that look, even almost that
Yeah.
cartoony, 3D cartoony look with Sea of Thieves is kind of their big thing
Hmm.
now. And yeah, Jack and
Yeah.
Daxter, kind of Jack and Daxter in that kind of world. Now, I don't know how much you remember about Jack and Daxter. Would everyone be a Jack? Would somebody be a Daxter? Are there other characters? I know that Daxter had
Yeah.
a
So,
spin-off on the PSP.
yeah. So I feel like it would be, like if you remember the old like Simpsons arcade game,
Yep,
yeah, everybody
classic.
walks up. Yeah, exactly. Like you can stand at whatever thing it is you want, but each one of like there can only be one Jack, there can only be one Daxter, there can only
Hmm.
be, like so it would be, you know, if you wanted to be Jack, you had to be like you would have to be real quick on on the controller there. Select them real quick because it would lock it out for everybody else,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
And I think
Well,
yeah, because I think it wouldn't be as fun if everybody was if it was just like a team of all Jacks or all Daxters,
yeah.
like
See,
be
I'm
hilarious.
imagining Jack as one of the playable characters, and then
Yeah.
Daxter is just kind of on his shoulder with like doing, like you do a combo and you hit, a couple times with Jack, and then Daxter kind of jumps in, kicks the dude in the face,
Hmm.
you know.
All right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, playing as Daxter would be cool too. Having the obviously the size difference, and you could probably have different kind of move sets and shit like that. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. That and then you'd have like combo attacks. So like you would have to work with
Oh
whoever's
yeah,
playing as Jack. Yeah. So I
yeah.
think that could be a fun little wrinkle too. So
I mean,
there we
maybe just
go.
cap it to two players. One somebody's Jack, somebody's Daxter,
Yeah.
and then just because I don't know if there's other characters that would work with it. I mean,
I cannot remember. Yeah. Like I
like
swear there
I'm
are
thinking like
other.
Ratchet and Clank, and like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart kind of introduced Rivet and I forget the other robot's name, um,
Yeah.
that are just kind of an alternate almost version of Ratchet and Clank. So that
Yeah.
would be something that you could easily do. So I don't know if Jack has a kind of a different counterpart
It's
there, but
yeah. No, it's one of those. I swear there are other like named characters who
yeah,
have stuff to do in the story, but I'm not sure if they were ever like playable or anything. So it's one of those like
fair enough,
I can't remember. So hey,
fair enough. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's definitely one of those uh, kind of games and like that kind of world that would lend itself well to that side scrolling beat 'em up type
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
Kind of what you've already been doing in the Jack and Daxter games, but instead of in a 3D world, you're on that 2D plane, beating people
Yeah.
up, picking up, whatever the shit the currency was in that game, getting upgrades, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 I have one more.
Okay.
So We'll cap this at 3 each, and
Okay.
then we can always there's an infinite well of ideas that we can come up with. But
Alrighty. I will I will leave my last one
for
for
next time.
for next time.
Yeah. Um, this one, I was like, what would be maybe just a very silly and completely off the wall idea. I think I may have gotten it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read the pitch. Okay. And let me know afterwards if you've figured out what the game is
Okay.
before the very end. So, the developer is the Coalition, Xbox owned studio, Microsoft owned studio. They're behind the Gears series. So I want to say they started with Gears 4 and then obviously Gears 5 and everything. So
Okay.
the Gears developers, the Coalition. Okay, so I'm thinking the gameplay is Gears inspired, first person shooter. Okay, very very violent.
Okay.
Game is rated M for mature. So in this game, you play as Tiffy, a 20-something girl who has been stuck in a world not of her own for the past 15 years. Has no idea how she got there, has been living in this world this entire time. What used to be a simple day to day routine has turned into a struggle between life and death. The dragons that roam the lands can no longer be satiated by simple snacks, and they've been picking off the citizens one by one.
Jesus.
With panic in the streets, the Jelly Queen is holed up in her castle saving her own skin. Using every weapon at your disposal, including the jellyfish cannon, the party popper blaster, and the lollipop hammer, will you be able to take down the bubblegum troll, discover the secrets of this world, and escape the Candy Kingdom once and for all? The Coalition presents Candy Crush.
Jesus Christ. So just some ultra violent third person cover shooter in
Yep,
Candy Crush.
in the Candy Crush universe. And
Oh man.
this is a direct sequel to the Candy Crush saga. It has a tiny plot. The research that I did has a very small amount of plot. It's mostly just, breaking candies. But there's fucking dragons. The little girl's name is Tiffy.
Jesus
All of
Christ.
those weapons are little little boosters that you can get in game. The bubblegum troll is apparently the bad guy. I don't know.
Okay. I
The
mean,
queen is known as a jelly queen.
sure. Alrighty. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that sure. Why not? Whatever you say, pal. That is
Candy Crush,
ridiculous.
third person. I said first person earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm third person, kind of cover shooter.
Oh my god.
Everything is as bright and colorful as the Candy Crush Saga game on mobile.
Yeah.
Obviously the Jelly Queen is not going to be bleeding. It's going to be
Mm,
grape jelly.
yeah.
All
You
right. The
know.
dragons are going to bleed chocolate.
Yeah. Obviously.
Bubblegum
You know.
troll, full of blood. Actually, that one's just full. That's regular blood. Yeah, he just
Yep.
chews
That's
bubblegum.
just
That's why they call him a
yeah.
bubblegum troll.
No, it's a fun nickname. You
Yeah,
know. They liked it to have fun when he was alive.
yeah. He,
Yeah.
he's just hanging out, chewing bubblegum one time. They called him bubblegum troll. He's like, oh, that's kind of funny, and they just kept calling him. That's how he became evil. That's one of the secrets of the game, actually. That's how the bubblegum troll
Nice.
becomes the big bad.
See, I thought you were going to go the Coalition presents Viva Pinata.
That's the other game they're working on.
It's a violent third person cover shooter where you are trying to liberate something. Oh
Liberate the
man.
Candy Kingdom.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on my list now. Flesh that idea out a little bit more. No, that is I mean, now that we live in a time where Pal World exists, where Pokemon with guns is a thing, and you can capture other trainers and
Now that we
force them to
live
work your land.
now that we live in a world with an R-rated live-action Winnie the Pooh horror movie,
Mm-hmm.
anything is
Like,
possible.
yeah,
By the
no,
way, all of
this.
these games star Steamboat Willie. So,
Oh, why not?
yeah, it's legal now. Except
Yep,
for
there
Candy
it is.
Crush, it's Tiffy.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah,
Couldn't
just
couldn't quite weave that one in there, but
full on
it is.
violent, rated M, Party Popper
I'm
Blaster, which is like kind of a little, I'm thinking like a bomb, jellyfish cannon, which is
I'm just
it's an RPG.
yeah, like I
Lollipop
mean,
hammer that just explodes people into different bits of candy. Like,
oh no, I'm thinking like the Hammer of Dawn, where you can just like call, and it's like an orbital strike, and you just call it in.
it's just it's
There's
just a
just like this,
lollipop that comes down,
just this point of light, and then it just,
and then you
oh
pick up
man,
the stick and you can use that as a melee weapon.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
dude. Well, then, like, what is the chainsaw gun going to be? That's you got to figure that one out.
Well, it is going to be a chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the blade, it's going to be a round chainsaw, not a long one. And the
Okay.
blade is going to be a little peppermint, a
All
little
right.
red and white striped peppermint that just spins.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
I've thought a lot about
Gumdrop.
this.
This
Um,
is
Phil Spencer, call me. Okay, I've got some ideas.
any of these studio heads that we've talked about your properties. Feel free to give us a call.
Yeah,
Reach out to
yeah.
us
Drop
on.
a line on the
Yeah.
Twitter,
Yep.
Storymoders
We're out
Pod.
there.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead and drop us a line. I mean, Robert's probably going to get to it. I'm getting off Twitter, so that is.
yeah. That's a hellhole. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But
I don't need that in my life. I'm
yeah,
good.
Threads is not it yet, and Blue Sky
No.
is still in beta.
Yeah, Blue Sky is interesting, and Threads, man, every time I open up Threads, it's just the dumbest people giving the worst takes on things, and it's just like,
Oh yeah.
oh, you are not the ally I want on this because you don't know what you're talking about. Thanks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so, yep, so there's
Ugh.
that.
So those are our first few pitches.
Yeah,
This is going to be one that we can. This is a well that we'll
yeah,
mine.
oh yes. We'll
Over
come
and
back
over
to
again.
this.
Any more ideas that we ever have? This won't be
Mm-hmm.
every episode though. This is one of the kind of a pitch episodes. Sometimes our episodes are just going to be more kind of stories or what's the thing that I'm thinking of? Kind of things based on our gaming histories.
Oh,
Kind of silly
yeah,
anecdotes type deals. Um,
yeah,
have a few ideas for some cool things down the line.
yeah.
So keep that in mind, or don't,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what they are. So fucking why?
Whatever.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's not every episode going to be that. We're going to have different ideas and different things and different viewpoints. Hopefully, some
yeah.
guests on in the future,
Oh, yeah.
and hope to make this thing pretty fun. Mike, do you have anything that you want to plug before we head out?
Um, yeah, so the stream is kind of on hiatus right now while I figure out some hardware things. I.e., I tried to stream Baldur's Gate a couple of weeks ago, and my PC can either play Baldur's Gate or stream. It cannot do both at the same time, and the stream crashed.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a fun warning message basically saying that. So, yeah, I'm currently getting a dedicated streaming PC set up, but we are doing some test streams here and there over on Nerding for Beginners. So it is me and some of my friends. We just get together, we play fun games. A lot of Sea of Thieves, a lot of fishing, because,
Whole
fishing
lot
is
of
fun.
fishing.
Yep. I mean, listen, in that game, you can accurately recreate what fishing is in real life. Go out on a boat with your
Boring.
friends, you get drunk, somebody falls off the
Yeah.
boat,
Yep.
and then somebody comes up and sinks you. It is the most realistic fishing simulator I've ever experienced.
It's every
You
time I've
know,
gone fishing, get drunk, fall in the water, hate my life.
Yep, sink somebody who gets a
Yeah.
little too close.
Bring someone down with me.
Exactly. But yeah, no, we're gonna be changing up some other things too, expanding the library of games we play. Might force some of these people to, force some of my friends to get into other games. Maybe, just maybe, convert somebody to a PC gamer. I doubt it.
It's expensive as
I
shit.
highly. I mean, listen, the meta is still go get a workstation PC, just like grab like a 20 or a 30 series card, or I think like a 65 or a 6600 series card, jam it in there, put in as much RAM as you can cram in that thing, and you're good to go. Like
Yeah.
those things will run a ton of games. I mean, this thing next to me that I'm tapping that you can't see, um, yeah, it ran a bunch of games that it had no reason doing, and it's just 32 gigs of RAM, a solid state, and an ancient 1050. So it did a lot. It punched way above its weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So yeah, over at Nerding for Beginners, I mean, probably once a week now, but usually we stream 3 times a week. There's a ton of videos on demand. I've got some clips up there. Follow us on social media. I try to post something at least once a day, usually every couple of days.
And the
So,
Instagram, Twitter, I think it's all this, or not Twitter, Facebook,
yep,
Nerding for Beginners
Instagram,
on both.
yep, cross
So,
platforms, yep.
mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
at some point, I will be more active in our Discord. So, but hey, you don't need to worry about that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So
How about you, Robert?
same. I mean, I stream on Twitch, Mr. underscore Hawks 182. Mr. Hawks was taken. Don't know by who, but actually I do know on Xbox it was just somebody who picked the name back when they first played Cameo on the 360
Jesus.
and then never got online again, and Xbox refuses to give me the name. But Mr. underscore Hawks 182 over on Twitch. Like I said, I do a lot of single player games, just kind of hanging out with chat. A lot of, I don't use a mic all the time, just kind of some fun, chill gameplay streams. Right now, as we're recording this, I am going through, like I said, a Persona 5 Royal run on Steam to get all the achievements before Persona 3 Reload comes out, here in the next couple weeks or so, and then I'm going to be jumping into that one for sure. Those games kind of hooked me last 2022 when Persona 5 Royal came on Xbox. So the first time I played it, and I've played through that game about 6-7 times. Played through Persona 4 a few times, 3 a few times, and yeah, I don't know what it is about them, but they're just chill games to kind of just I can honestly throw on a podcast while I'm running through the world and talking to people, and it's just a chill time. But yeah, same handle everywhere on Twitter. Got a page on Facebook as well and Instagram where I post just nonsense, mostly just going live shit. I need to get into the habit of making clips like Mike does. He's good
Yeah.
at that. I'm awful at it. I have one
Hey,
clip
I mean,
from 3 years ago when I was playing Assassin's Creed. That's it.
I'm I'm getting better at the clip game. That whole
Yeah.
shout out to Elgato for making Stream Deck in app form. That is huge.
I gotta look into that. Now that you've mentioned it, I gotta look into that for sure.
Dude, yeah, it's like this is not an endorsement, I mean, unless Elgato wants to cut us a check, which
Throw an Elgato logo across both of our fucking faces right now.
I will gladly take whatever
Yeah.
product you're willing to send us. So,
I know
or
they're
just cut us a
releasing some
check.
new stuff at the beginning of February. If you need to get rid of some old equipment,
Yep.
you boys.
Yeah, we're right here. We're willing to take it. But yeah, no, like, so there's the Stream Deck, a physical thing, but then they made an iOS and Android app, and it is very like, oh, it's very intuitive. Like,
Mhm.
I started watching a video of how to set it up, and I immediately was just like, oh no, I know exactly what to do here, and then got it set up, and we did a test stream the other night, and yeah, it worked exactly like I didn't have to tweak anything. It just worked.
Just worked.
So,
And you just
yep.
logged into it on your
Yeah,
on
so
the phone
like,
and everything? How does that work?
yep.
Once
Yeah,
again,
so
this is not
there's
an endorsement. I actually just want to know in case I want to use it.
yeah. Yeah. So you have to have the Stream Deck program on your computer that's doing the streaming. And then you have to have the Stream Deck app on your phone or tablet, whatever. I'm doing this because I'm getting a tablet. So, this is a dry run. But
Also,
yeah, and then
Tablet
yep,
Incorporated, if you want to sponsor us as well, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. Hook it up to tablets. Send us tablets. No, and then like it has plugins for your various uh streaming services. There's some Twitch plugins, or there's a Twitch plugin that lets you do things like put markers on your stream, make clips, run ads, send pre-done messages. It's pretty awesome. Like I was using it to just entirely in Streamlabs. All I did was open it on the computer and then iPhone took it from there. Just
Oh,
tapping through
cool.
everything. Yeah. Went live, went through all the scenes. It was pretty sweet. So
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like I obviously we're using OBS for this right now, and that's what I use for my
mm,
streaming thing. And that'd be pretty nice to not have to kind of have to jump back and forth into that from my
yeah.
Steam picture. So I'm gonna definitely
Yeah.
look into that more.
Oh
Once
yeah.
again, Elgato, call us.
Yep.
You'll find
Right
my
here.
number. It's somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Right here.
Call me,
Call it.
beat me if you want to reach me.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Perfect.
But yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody that might be
Yeah.
listening now or in the future. If you're just finding
Mm,
this after the world's ended and for some reason the internet's still there, cool. Around this time, we still had cars.
yeah. Gas
They
powered and
worked.
everything.
Yeah, gas powered. There's some electric ones out there. It's pretty crazy.
It's wild.
So, thank you, everybody. We
Yep.
are going to be signing off. Mike, I love you. I'll talk to you next
Love,
time.
love you too, buddy. Take it easy.
Oh, there's balloons, apparently.
What?
I don't know why
Oh,
there's balloons.
why do you get balloons?
I don't know. I got balloons on
Where are
over
my
here on
balloons?
Discord.
Oh,
Cool.
goddamn. What
All right,
balloons?
let's go back to this coming soon screen and thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.